Our top stories this week. Less than half of U.S. kids now have a traditional family, with only 46% living in homes with both a mother and a father. In Connecticut, the governor reappoints the state's DCF commissioner, who is pissing everybody off. In Mississippi, the child protective industry wants an additional $12 million in this year's budget so that they can make federal court-ordered improvements to their foster care system. And in Texas, the state is gypping the kids who are placed with their biological relatives by giving them little or no support. In Wisconsin, the legislature is considering bills that would ban the online rehoming of children who are adopted from overseas but are no longer wanted. In New York City, the child protective industry is moving troubled teenagers out of a chaotic and overcrowded group home and into more appropriate placements. In Pennsylvania, the legislature puts forth some knee-jerk legislation in light of the Jerry Sandusky adopted kid sex abuse case that is going to make it difficult for the schools to keep staff or get volunteers because of newly intensified and expensive background check requirements. And in Pakistan, 14 stolen kids who were picked up for being poor were returned to their families. American evangelicals are suddenly seeing just how bad racism is in America since fulfilling their moral obligation to adopt. The Obama administration is set to release new regulations to protect immigrant children in the U.S. shelters from sexual abuse. And in Scotland, the child abuse inquiry is going to hear claims that British military scientists conducted drug tests on orphans in Scottish mental hospitals. In New York, police aren't allowed to review family court records as part of their investigation into the death of a 5-year-old boy. In Alberta, Canada, a 14-year-old who was in provincial care died just 5 days before Christmas. And in India, a former cop's foster son dies in a car accident. In New Jersey, a court rules that a mother who gave birth while on methadone cannot be accused of abuse or neglect. In Sioux Falls, South Dakota, a couple has to spend Christmas without their kids because of a medical kidnapping, and a former group home worker from California is accused of running off with a teenage girl to Mexico. In Manitoba, Canada, the Southern Chiefs leader is suing the child protective industry for stealing too many Indigenous children. In Florida, a father is suing the sheriff and the arresting deputy after being falsely accused of child abuse. And in Hawaii, a group of former foster kids is suing the state after being sexually abused by their foster dad. In England, a social worker who falsely accused a dad of abusing his 6-year-old daughter can still look after children. In Massachusetts, a veterinarian says that he is upset that CPS agents never reported a puppy who they should have seen was clearly being abused during a child abuse investigation. And finally, tonight in Oklahoma, a woman was arrested for threatening to kill a DHS worker and blow up the building when she didn't qualify for benefits. For these stories and all the latest dirt on the child protective industry, visit www.legallykidnapped.com. And until next week, this is Baby LK, over and out.